Which one? Arithmetic operators, tell me. Plus, minus, store. Okay, division, module. Okay, double division. The next one is like square. Relational. Yesterday already discussed greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to. The next one.
Double equal to.
Equals to, not equals to, right? Logical. And
not.
Not. And or not. Increment or decrement. Increment operator, decrement operator. Assignment. Assign the value. Assign the value. Membership. Membership. Come on. Membership operator. In. Not in. Okay. You are the member in that group, or you are not a member in the group. Okay. If you want to tell something about that, you are a member or not a member, then you can go with the membership operator. What about identity?
Is not.
Yeah. Identity operator is what? Okay. A is B, B is A. Okay. Like that. Is A is B. Okay. Identity is like same or not. A is B. Is not. Is and is not. Yes or no? So up to here we covered yesterday. Now today we are going to discuss about identity one. Okay. So can anyone answer this question? Name equals to none. What is my name?
Sachin.
My name is like Sachin or not? Why Sachin? Here, or when it go to the next level. When it go to the next level, yeah, the first one is like fail, right? If the first one is like fail means false. If the first one is like false, then only it go to the next level expression or not. So here none means no value, means false. Whenever it is like false, then only it go to the next level or not. Yes or no? So the answer is what? Sachin. So the same thing, if I write like this, what's my answer? What's my answer? Come on. If I write like this, what's my answer? Anyone? If I write like this, what is my answer?
False. False.
No, name is no value, right? So no value. Okay, nothing. Okay, so this one is like what? None, right? Okay, false. Okay, means no value. Now it is go to where? Go to where? Next level expression or not go to next level? It is not go to the next level expression or not? Yes or no? So that this value only it is going to give or not. What is this value? The current value is like what? No value, none. Okay, next one. A equals to 10. If I execute this statement only, exactly what is the error? If I execute this statement, exactly what is the error? Exact error, tell me.
Is not defined.
Yeah, B is not defined or not. B is not defined. Okay, if I write like this, what is my output? What is my output? Now B is defined, right? Now B is defined. So what is my output? What is my output? Sachin, right? Okay, why? Because first A value, A equals to 10, yes or no? Yes, true. Okay, so condition satisfied. Whenever the condition satisfied, if it is like end, it go to next level expression. Next level expression is what? B. Okay, are you checking any condition B equals something like that? No, right? So what is my B value? What is my B value?
20.
20. So 0 means false. other than 0 any value that is like true or not, yes or no. Value 0 means it's like false, except 0 anything it's like true only or not. So what is my b value? 20. 20 is like true or false? 20 is like true or false?
True.
True, right? 0, number 0 means it's like false, except 0 any number it's like what? True only. So that b20 it's like true. So if it is like true, it go to, come on,
Next level.
next expression. Next expression, in the next expression what we have? Okay, we have the print Sachin, so that finally the output is like what? Sachin is going to print or not. Everyone okay na? Okay, then now my question is, now I want to check this word there or not there. This word is there or not there? This word is there or not there? Come on, by seeing this one you can understand like what? This is there or not there? Tell me simply. In this particular sentence, this there or not there? Yes, there. So programmatically you can tell me. Programmatically when you write the code, this or Sachin or is follow, this particular word is there or not there in that sentence? How we can? Hmm? Come on, programmatically how we can tell? This is my players list. Players list. Okay, my players are like Sachin. Okay, Dhoni, Kohli. So Kohli there or not there in the list? Kohli. Kohli there or not there? Yes, there. Programmatically I want Kohli is there. By seeing this one, you can say like here this is there. Here Kohli also there. But programmatically tell me how we can tell my this is there in this particular text. How we can tell?
Using identity operator.
By using,
Identity operator.
come on, identity or membership? By using membership.
Membership.
Okay, how we can write my this inside this text, this inside, okay, this particular text, yes or no? If it is there, then that time it returns me what? True, otherwise returns me false, or no? So here also Kohli there and not there, how we can check? Kohli there and not there, how we can check? Kohli inside the players list, if it is there it's like true, otherwise false. Agreed? By using membership operator, okay, you can check one word is there or not there in the sentence. You can check one item or one element is there or not there in the list. Not only list, we have some other data types also there, right? Tell me. To represent multiple values in a single variable, to represent multiple values in a single variable, we have some other data types also there. Set. The next one is what? Tuple. These all right? Yes or no? Agreed? Up here, okay, everyone? Okay, then. So next go with the identity operator. So let me open our workspace folder. So open the Jupyter. Tell me how we can run the Jupyter. Jupyter.
Jupyter notebook.
Jupyter notebook, right? Jupyter notebook is the command. Okay. See, last session operator, right? Okay, now click on it. Up to here done or not? In, not in also. Okay, next one is like identity operator. So my I value is like 10. Okay, na? My j value is like 10 only. My I value 10, my j value also 10 only. Now my question is, I is j, true or false? I is j, true or false? I value 10, j value also 10. Is I is my I is j, true or false?
True.
Okay, now if you come here, okay, the value is like true. Both are like having the same value or not. Now, if you want to find the address location of this particular variable, we have one member is there in Python. Okay, what is the type of this member? By seeing the syntax, can anyone tell me what is the type of this member? Based on the uses,
Function.
what is the type? It's like a function or not? If you observe here, I value is like what? 10. J value also 10. If you see here, ID of I, the address is what? 140. Okay, this much big number, 140, 024, lost. ID of J also, if you observe the location, the same location or not. The identity is like same for both the variables or not. The identity is like same for both the variables or not. Whenever the identity is like same, then that time my E is always returns me true. For example, okay, I have z equals to 20. Z equals 20. Obviously, what this is the different value, so that it is going to give the something different location or not. If you observe here, okay, the ID of z is like some different location or not. Obviously, if you write like I is z, then the time if I write like I is z, then the time it gives me the value is like what? False or not. So is always returns me true when the identity of this particular members or variables like same, then only it returns me true. Otherwise it returns me what? False or not. Understood everyone? Got my point? Okay, same like that. I is not z. What's my answer? You can use like is the negative condition if you want to check is not. Now if you come here, okay, I is not z, right? I identity is different and z identity is different. Your question also what? ID, okay, I is not z. Yes, correct only, right? That the reason it returns me like what? True. Understood? Understood everyone? Come on. Up here okay or not? Okay then. Let's go with the next level discussion. I want to discuss something about one of the predefined method called as input. Okay, for example, if you want to print something as an output to the end user, which method you used, which function you used so far? Can anyone? So far, which functions you used? So far, which functions you used? Predefined functions, tell me, which functions you used so far? Tell me which functions you used.
Print.
Okay, one is like print function you used, right? Print. Next, any other functions did you use? Okay, just now we used like an ID, right? This is also one function only. Next,
Type.
type also, right? Type also we used or not to represent the type of that particular data. Okay, variable reference, whatever it is, that variable refer to any value. By using that one, we can find the type or not. Okay, same like that. If you want to ask some inputs, if you want to ask some inputs from the end user, for example, a value is like 10, a value is like 10, okay, b value is like 20. If I write like this, always my values are like hard coded, right? Always my values are like what? Hard coded values or not? Yes or no? Always my values are like hard coded values or not? Let's think. This value, instead of hard coding, can you ask to the end user, hey, can you give me the a value like that? Same like this, b also. Can you give me the b value? Once you enter a and b values, can you do some operation based on that requirement? Instead of hard coding a value 10 and b value 20, just ask the inputs from the end user. Ask the inputs from the end user. So how you can ask the inputs from the end user? That is the question. Don't hard code the a value, don't hard code the b value, just ask the inputs from the end user. Okay, how we can? Very simple. We have one function is there. That function name is like input is the function. Okay, enter a value like this. If I, okay, like this, if I write, then the time, see, it asks for you enter a value, enter a value. Can you enter the a value? Yes or no? Okay, your wish. Okay, for example, 100 I entered. If I entered 100, okay, then the written value is what? It is going to give like a 100 or not? It's going to give me like a 100 or not? Yes or no? Got my point? Same like that. If you want, enter input, enter name, enter name, enter name. Can I execute? Yes. Okay, name is like a Sachin. Now if I enter, now the written value is what? My input written value is what? My input function returns me what? What is the return type? Tell me. My input function return type, tell me. My return type is like a string
Oh,
or not. Whenever I entered 100, see the 100, it gives me like a normal number, stringified number. It is like a normal number or stringified number. Observe,
so
normal number
inside number.
or stringified number. So that you can say like my input returns me what? My input returns me a string or not. Yes or no? Got my point? Okay. Now input, enter players, enter players. Okay. Can I add some players like this? Is it valid or invalid? Is it valid or invalid?
Valid.
It is valid or invalid? See, it is 100% valid, but observe here, the list also they given in the stringified format only or not? Yes or no? How to convert a string, okay, into list? We'll see that one. Conversions, there has one concept is there. But now if you observe here, whatever the value you entered, that value they given to us in the stringified format only or not? Either number, either string, obviously string only. If I enter like a list also, it gives me like what? A stringified list or not? So you can simply understand like what? My input always get the inputs, ask the inputs from the end user, and returns me that particular input value in the stringified format or not? Yes or no? Come on. It is always returns me that particular input value in the stringified format or not? Agreed with me? Come on. Okay, so if anybody given, okay, one function given one value, how we can hold that value? Input, enter name. Okay, now this particular input, whatever you entered the name, that name it is going to return or not? How one function, okay, returns, okay, how we can handle the return value of the function? How we can handle the return value of the function? This is my function. The function call is this one. function call always gives me what? Function call always gives me what? Function call always gives me what? Come on, function call always gives me what? Function call always gives me the return value, right? How we can hold the return value? With one variable or not? With one variable. So that, can I write like val? Now can I execute it? Okay, enter the name. Okay, Sachin. If I click on enter, now what is my val? What is my val? My val is like a Sachin or not? Why? My val is like a Sachin or not? Why? Because simple. Input, ask the inputs from the end user. Whatever the end user entered, that value convert into string and return that value. That the reason I said like return type is what? String. So whenever the function returns the value, that value you can hold with what? One variable or not? Yes or no? We can hold that particular one with the variable or not? Agreed? So the val holds the input return value. What is the input return value? What is the input return value? Come on, what is the input return value? String. Okay, so that return type is string. What is the return value here? Value is what? Sachin. So that the value is like Sachin or not. So any function returns anything, we can hold with one variable or not. Agreed? So for good, if anybody asks, okay, about the input, what's your answer? Input is a function which is used for what? Gather the inputs from the end user, and it is always returns me the entered value in the stringified format or not. Always returns me the entered value, whatever the value entered, always returns me the entered value in which format? Always entered string format or not? Entered value in the string format. That's it. Understood? Got my point? Okay, there has one more function also there. Eval is there. Eval. Okay, it is going to take one string as a parameter. For example, if I write like this, Sachin. Okay, then if I execute this one, okay, eval Sachin, name Sachin is not defined. Name Sachin, it's not defined. So by seeing this particular statement, what you can understand? Anyone guess? Come on. By seeing this error message, eval, how it treated this particular value? Okay, my eval, it is not treated like a string, right? Outside string is there. Don't think like that string is belongs to Sachin. Don't think that particular string is belongs to Sachin. Now eval, whatever you pass the value, that particular value, it's treated like a reference. It's treated like a reference. So Sachin is there or not there? Sachin is a variable reference. It is treated like, okay, that particular variable defined or not defined? Not
No.
defined. That the reason name Sachin is not defined or not. Name Sachin is not defined. If I remove this one, then if you not pass anything, it's like a invalid syntax or not. Okay, now if I remove this one, then eval expected at least one argument. Now tell something about eval. Eval is which type? First question. Eval is which type?
Function.
Function. Perfect. Take how many parameters? Come on, at least one parameter is said, right? Minimum one parameter it is going to take or not? Yes or no? It is going to take like one parameter or not? What is the type of that parameter? Can I pass like this 10? Can I pass like this? Come on.
No.
What is that? See this. Come on, by seeing this one, you have to format the sentence. Argument one must be what? In the string format only, he said or not? In the string format only, he said or not? Okay, done. Now, if I write like this, See, in the past, whatever the text you entered, that is treated like what? Variable reference. That variable reference is not there. Okay, now it's like a number. It's treated like what? It's like a value. 10. 10 is like a valid or not. See this, simple. 10, valid or invalid? If I execute this one, valid. If I write like a Sachin, valid or invalid? Come on, valid or invalid? Only Sachin I written. Invalid, right? Why? Because if I write like this, what is that? Sachin is what? Sachin is treated like what? If I write like this, Sachin is treated like what? A variable. The Sachin is a variable. That name Sachin is defined or not defined? Tell me, name Sachin is defined or not defined?
Not defined.
Not defined, right? Yes or no? Agreed. Understood the difference? Okay, now tell something about the eval. So far what we did. Eval is a
Function.
function which like maximum. Okay, minimum one argument should be.
One argument.
One argument. The argument type.
Number.
Okay, it should be a string.
String.
Okay, inside that one you can add some values, whatever it is, but those values treated like a normal values. Okay, that's it. Okay, if you write like 10, it treated like a 10 only. If I write like Sachin, it treated like a Sachin only. If it is only Sachin, okay, Sachin is what? It treated like a variable. Sachin is defined or not defined? Inside the string, whatever you return, that is treated like a value. For example, if I write like this, okay, 10 plus Sachin. For example, if you write like this, see, it's take like a string as a parameter. Perfect. 10 is there, na? 10. Outside, you can execute it. 10 is like what? Normal variable, okay, normal value, so that the value is like a 10. Perfect. Now, if I execute like a Sachin, okay, what happened? It gives me what? Sachin is not defined or not. That's the reason you can get like what? Name Sachin is not defined or not. Yes or no? Come on. So it's take like a string, eval take like a string, and then it is going to split it. This is one value, this is one value, like that. Okay. Now if I write like this, what happened? Valid or invalid? First tell me. So eval is a function. Okay, it's take like a string as a parameter. Yes, everything is done. Now this one, 10. 10 is a valid value or not? Yes. If I write like a 20 also, execute outside like this, 20. Valid value or not? Yes. Now 10 plus 20 is like what? 30. So that if it evaluated the value of this particular string, the value is like what? 30 or not? Agreed, everyone? Come on. Agreed. Hmm? So eval return type is what? Eval return type is what here? It is like a number, right? So it is returns me some value. Okay, how we can hold the return value? How we can hold the return value? How we can hold the return value? With one variable, right? With one variable or not? So what is my val now? What is my val? What is my val? My val is like 30, right? Yes or no? Agreed, everyone? So for good? Understood or not about the val? See, any statement you can say. Whenever you get the error, if you read that particular error message properly, you can get like 50% solution. Okay, that is not only for Python. Any programming language you can take it. Whenever you get an error, try to read that error first. If you read that error, okay, 2 times, 3 times, then that time you can get like 50% solution. After that, okay, you have to think. Understood or not? So the error messages are very, very important. If the error came, okay, if you not read that particular error message, okay, you didn't find any solution. So that try to read that errors properly. Automatically you can get some solution. Understood? Okay. Okay then. Can anyone tell me the Python program, how it is going to execute the process, entire process? Can anyone tell? Python program, how it is going to execute whenever you write the Python program, for example, demo.py. Okay, if I execute py demo.py, it gives me an output. So what is the internal process I want? The internal process, what is that process? What is the internal process? The program execution. Can anyone? Okay, let me open my Visual Studio Code. Open send our workspace folder. Yes. Now I want to execute one Python. Okay, one Python program. Okay, just simply I want to write like one Python program, command line arguments dot py. Okay, done. If I write like print hello, I want to execute this particular program. How we can execute that program? First, I created a file with the extension of py or Python. You can, no problem. You can write any number of statements, no problem. If you want to execute these statements, how we can execute? Just I want to execute these statements, how we can execute? Just I want to execute these statements, how we can execute? I want to execute these statements, how we can execute? I want to execute these statements, how we can execute?
py command line.
Come on, py. That is normal only. Py
Command line or
command line. You can get like this or not. Yes or no? Py command line arguments. So internal, what happened? The internal process I'm asking. Come on, we already discussed about the program introduction class. Whatever you written the code, terminology wise, that code we can say like what? Terminology wise. Whatever you written the code, that code, what we can say terminology wise. Source code, right? Source code, normal, general. Any programming language you can take it. Whatever you written the code, that code terminology wise we can say like a source code. So you have a source code now. This source code should be compiled, right? Yes or no? To compile that code, there has some translators or their interpreters and compilers, right? We have some translators. Interpreter is always code line by line. Okay, entire program at a time it is going to compile or not. So your code has to be compiled. Whenever the code is like compiled, now that code is not machine readable. Okay, that not a human readable. It's like a machine readable or not. From that particular code, they has to generate the output directly. Is it possible to generate that output? No, right? So who come into the picture? Who come into the picture to make understand that particular compiled code and generate the output which is understandable by the end user or human readable? Who is going to help? PVM, right? PVM stands for Python Virtual Machine. Okay, in Java, JVM is there, Java Virtual Machine. Here, PVM, Python Virtual Machine, it's a program, that's it. Okay, that particular program take your compiled code and generate the okay output, and it is understandable by the end user or it is like a human readable. Yes or no? So this is my source code. I'm able to understand. I'm the human readable. Okay, human. So I can understand. This is my output. This is also human readable only or not. In between the process, compile and then PVM generate the output from the compile code, which can be human readable or not. That is the process, right? Yes or no? Okay. Okay then. Okay, here my a value. A okay name equals to, for example, Sachin. It's like a hard. You want dynamically input enter name. Now whatever you enter the name, okay, print, simply you can add it. Done. So how we can execute this one? How we can execute this one? Come on, py command line arguments. Now enter name. Can I enter the name? Now whenever you enter the name, you can get the values like what, Sachin or not. See how many ways you can assign the data to the variables means directly you can assign. Okay, directly you can assign like this is one way. It is like a hard coded value or not. Yes, the next one is like dynamic values. How many ways? One is like you can ask the inputs. you can ask the inputs from the end user by using which function? Input or not. By using which function? By using which function? Input function or not. Input function gather the inputs from the end user. Gather the inputs from the end user. Understood or not? Got my point? Okay. There has any other way is there? Get the inputs dynamically from the end user. Is there any other way is there? Get the members dynamically from the end user. Is there any other way is there? See, the program name is what? Command line arguments, right? So whenever you execute this particular program, see this like this, I'm executing or not. Whenever you execute this particular program, okay, through this command, you can add or you can assign some values here. Okay, how we can like this, Sachin, like this, Sachin. Okay, this particular value you are passing to this particular program, like that you can think. Understood or not? Got my point? Okay, so one is like by using input, you can ask the name, but now I don't want input. I am passing the value in the command. See this, while executing this particular program, we are using this command, right? Okay, so through command line in this particular command, okay, this is the command, this in this particular line, I am passing some values or not. So you can say like, if you want to pass some values dynamically to the program, okay, through command line arguments also you can pass it. If you pass the data in this particular syntax, we can say the data is passing like a command line arguments. Okay, while executing this command in this particular line, we are passing some data or not. So whatever the data you passed, that data we can say like a command line arguments, terminology wise. So you passed like a Sachin, right? So you can get the data, okay, in this particular program. Now I execute this one. You execute this one. Okay, now say this, what happened? Nothing. You didn't write any code, but our requirement is what? This Sachin you passed, right, through command line argument. That Sachin I want to display it. So how we can? So the question is two questions. How you can pass the command line arguments? That is one question. If you pass the command arguments, how you can retrieve the command line arguments data or not? Yes or no? Come on. Okay, how we can pass the command line arguments? Before that, one more question you can add. What is command line argument? Why we go for that one? Yes or no? If you want to pass some dynamic values to my program while executing, then you can go with the command line arguments. If you want to pass some data, if you want to pass some inputs to my program while executing, then you can go with the command line arguments or not. How we can pass? How we can pass while executing the program with the command of what? Py, your Python program name. After that you can give the space, okay, some value you can pass. After that you can give the space, some value you can pass. Like this, any number of values you can pass it. This is the way we can pass the command line arguments or not. While executing this Python command, in this particular line itself, you can pass the values or not. Whatever values you pass, those values we can say like a command line arguments we can say. Now once you pass this data, how we can take the data in my program? That is the important question, right? You have to take the data or not. Yes or no? You have to take the data or not. Yes or no? So how we can take the command line arguments or not? The question is like what? How we can take the command line arguments data in my Python program. In my Python program. For that purpose, we have one module is there in our Python. At this moment, you don't know about what is this from, what is this import, all this stuff. Don't worry about this one. For now, just remember, try to remember this statement. At the time of packages, there has one concept called as a, okay, packages and modules concept is there. That time you can come to know about all these imports, okay, exports, all this stuff. If you observe here, you come to this particular modules concept, in this particular modules concept, okay, now see this, you are importing something, okay, you are exporting something, all this stuff we can come to know. Okay, for now, okay, the topic not yet done. Don't worry about this particular line what I written. Okay, if you try to understand, okay, if you are able to remember, just you can remember. Okay, that's not a big deal. You can remember this one. Okay, this line, don't think about this line. Okay, now can I print, okay, args v? This is like a variable, nah? Just I am printing args v. What it is going to print, just check it. Now see that. Can anyone tell me? I printed this args v, right? Args v is which type? It's like a predefined member only. Args v is which type? Tell me. Args v is which type? By seeing this one you can tell. Just okay, don't think more about line number 1. Just think about args v. One variable is there, just I printed. Args v is which type? Args v printed this value. Args v is which type?
List.
Anyone? It's a list, right? It's a list type. Yes or no? In the list type, did you observe after py command, whatever the values are there, those values, after the py command, whatever the values are there, those values in the list placed or not, in those values placed in the list or not. So if I write like this, after py command, how many values are there with space separation? After this command, how many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 values are there. Now, if I click on this one, see, you have the 4 values or not? 1, 2, 3, 4. Among these 4, which one you want? Among these 4, which one you want as per your requirement? Among these 4, which one you want? Come on. Among these 4, which one you want? Sachin, right? Sachin. So that how we can get that Sachin? Among these 4, which one you want? Sachin, I want. Okay, tell me, you know about the arrays, right? If you want to take the data from the array, how we can take it? By using index or not? General thing in C, wherever it is. Now, if you come here, I need a Sachin. So how we can get the Sachin? Can I take like 1? Can I take like 1? Yes or no? Now, if I pass the data, see my Sachin, you are able to see or not? This is the way you can pass some dynamic values or not. Now, instead of Sachin, I pass like a Dhoni also. Dhoni, you can pass it. Dhoni, you can pass it. Remaining values, if you don't want, just delete it. Now, the this is also one way the values dynamically to the program or not. One is like input. You can ask the values dynamically to the end user. That is one thing. Another one is like you can pass the values through command line arguments to the program or not. This is the way you can pass some dynamic values. You can pass some values. See, I'm not hard coded anywhere. If I pass like Dhoni, my output is like Dhoni. If I pass something else, okay, Kohli, okay, it is like the value is like Kohli or not. So this is the way we are going to pass the data to my program dynamically or not. One is like by using input function. Another one is like by using command line arguments also we can pass the data or not. Yes or no? So command line arguments in the program, in which format we can hold? Command line arguments in your program, in which format we can hold? We can hold in which format? Come on, all the command line arguments after py command, whatever the command line arguments are there, we hold in which format? We hold in which format? List format, right? Why do you think more? In the list format or not? See this, in the list format or not? Once you have the list of items, okay, how we can retrieve the data? There has multiple functions or there at the time of list discussion we can discuss. But for now, okay, list, it looks like an array. By using index, we can retrieve the data. My first, okay, 0th index, this is the value I don't want. My first index, the value is like Sachin. I want that one. That's the reason args of 1, the output is like what, Sachin or not? Agreed with me all or? Come on. So for good. So far good. Anyone have any questions? Hmm? Anyone have any questions? Okay, can anyone tell me so far what topics we covered? So far day 1 to till today, what topics we covered? Any one of you? Hmm? So far what topics we covered? First, we discuss something about why we go for Python, by using Python, what kind of applications we are going to develop or not. Yes or no? Okay, the next one, installation. Everyone completed installation or not? Are you able to run the programs in your local machine? Just Python software, you can install it. Once you install the Python software, you can run the program in your command prompt. You can run the program in VS Code. You can run the program in the Jupyter. All this stuff or not? Yes or no? Okay, that is like a installation that is completed. PyCharm installation not yet done. Okay, we are going to discuss in future. Okay, now for now we discussed like what? Okay, in the command prompt how we can, in the VS Code how we can, in the Jupyter notebook how we can, in the Google Colab how we can or not. Google Colab is what? It's like a cloud platform. Directly, no need to install any software. Nothing is required. Directly, you can go to the Google Colab. Okay, there you can execute, there you can create the notebook and you can execute your program or not. Google Colab installation. After that, what we discussed, once the installation is done, what is the next one?
Variables.
Yeah, the coding. Okay, we written one program, simple hello world program. What is the execution process we discussed or not? Okay, or how it's going to compile. Okay, once I compile code, go to the PVM and it's going to generate the output like this. One basic program we discussed or not? Yes or no? After that, we discussed about variables. After that, we discussed about functions. Okay. After that, the variable naming convention, how should it should be looks like? Okay. Valid names and invalid names like this we discussed or not? Yes or no? Okay. Naming convention. Naming convention we discussed or not? The next one. Come on. The next one. Different data types also we discussed, right? Different data types also we discussed or not? Okay. Next. Come on. Yesterday's session. Operators, right? Operators. Next. Operators. Next, we discussed about flow controls, right? Flow controls also or not? Flow controls also. The next one is like, okay, how we can pass the input values dynamically or not? Input values dynamically, that is like input method or through command line arguments, how it is going to pass. All this stuff we discussed or not? These 10 topics we covered or not? Any questions among these topics? Anyone have any questions? Up to here it's like a basic core Python. Next we can, okay, move to advanced one. Okay, in the functions we are going to discuss like some other stuff. Okay, different parameters, what is like, okay, if the function is not having the name, okay, we call like which kind of function that is. Different stuff we are going to discuss in this particular function second part. And then important thing is like we have different data formats like list, set, string, tuple. Okay, we are going to discuss about, okay, list, individual functions, set, individual functions like that. Okay, once it is done we can start with oops. Okay na? Okay, up to here you can say like a core, nothing is there. These are like common for any programming language. Most of the stuff is like common for any programming language. Okay, any questions? Anyone have any questions? No? So go to the uijavakit.com. Okay, just you can go through the topics what we covered. Okay, all the topics are available here. Just you can go through. Up to here you can go through. Okay, the next topic we are going to discuss about functions. Okay, second part, and remaining all stuff we can see. Okay, so practice, you can, first of all, by practicing only you can get the things. Just go to the Jupyter simply. Okay, if you don't have also, no problem at all, go to the Google Colab. All are having Google accounts, right? Okay, go to the Google Colab. Just you can, okay, write the program here. If the Python is not installed in your machine also, there is no problem at all. For practice purpose, you can use like online editors also. You can use this Colab, Google Colab also. They provided you the environment, just you can practice. Okay, go to the file. Okay, previous stuff not required for me. Just you can cancel it. You can open the notebook here directly. Open notebook. Okay, any notebook, existing notebook, if you want to open, you can open it. If you want a new notebook, okay, just you can go to the new notebook. Okay, my local Jupyter notebook, how it looks like, same like that only. Here also we have the notebook, but it is not our in our machine. It is like in the cloud or not. Okay, here you can generate this. Okay, print hello. Okay, so if I execute this particular one, you can see the output here. That's it. Understood? Okay, in the untitled one, okay, if I add some, okay, different name, you can give the different name. Okay, if it is done, okay, if you want to open any notebook there, right? Okay, if you want to add any notebook, okay, if you want to open any notebook, just you can open that notebook here. Okay, so one more thing also we discussed na, keywords. Okay, whatever the keywords we have, each and every keyword we are going to discuss in our class. Okay, so far, okay, 30% keywords we covered, remaining we have, we'll discuss those. Okay, okay, then we'll continue remaining things in the next session. Next session is on Monday. Thank you guys, thanks for joining, bye.